Hi there, my name is Edwin Bakker and I'll be your instructor, host for this course on terrorism and counterterrorism. And I'm very excited to start this education and research project together with all of you. And all of you means thousands of people. Thousands have joined this course and I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting experience for all of us. I hope we will learn more about terrorism and counterterrorism, but also about different ideas and different experiences regarding these phenomena. Before I will tell you more about this course, let me tell you who I am and where we're standing right now. I'm a professor in terrorism studies at the Institute for Public Administration at Leiden University in the Netherlands. And I'm also the director of the Center for Terrorism and Counterterrorism in the city of The Hague. I have a background in political geography and conflict studies, having lectured at several Dutch universities, as well as centers for professional learning, such as NATO Defense College in Rome, the Netherlands Defense Academy, Police Institute, and centers for training for judges and diplomats, for instance. Well, before joining Leiden University, I was the head of the Security and Conflict Program at the Netherlands Institute of International Relations, Klingendael, which is also here in The Hague. And this think tank has close ties to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as a wide variety of other national and international organizations. My research focuses on security issues in general and terrorism-related issues in particular. And it's very policy-oriented. And that's why I'm very happy to do this kind of work in the great city of The Hague. The Hague, which is also my hometown, is the location of the Dutch government, various ministries, as well as a wide range of international organizations, non-governmental organizations, and private actors in the field of security. From the roof of our building, you can see some of the key players in our field of study. For instance, over there, the headquarters of Europol, EU's law enforcement agency, and a little bit more to the left you see the headquarters of the OPCW, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. And a little bit more to the left you see that tower of the Peace Palace. I think an icon of peace and justice for more than a century, which was built in 1913. And then downtown you see with the flags, that is the main building of Leiden University here in The Hague, located dead center next to Parliament and a number of ministries. Ministry of Education, which on the roof also houses the National Police, the headquarters of the National Police, and then on that side the red building, which is the Ministry of Home Affairs, as well as the Ministry for Safety and Justice, and for us very important, the National Coordinator for Security and Counterterrorism, which is one of our key partners in discussing terrorism issues and doing research. Then on the other side of the building, you see on the eastern side, you see that white building over there, that's the International Criminal Court. And then more to the left behind these offices is the suburb of Zoetermeer, which is home to the Dutch General Intelligence and Security Service. Well, and then right next to this building, on this side, you see one of the biggest courts in the Netherlands, where there have been a number of terrorism trials and a number of convictions. And then even closer, well, that's, I'm proud to say, is the building of Leiden University College, where about 400, 500, 600 students live, where they have both their training and education, and where they enjoy this great city of The Hague. Having shown a number of relevant actors in our field of study, let's have a look at the other actors, the radicals, the extremists, the terrorists. Well, unfortunately, this town and its surroundings have also been the location of a number of terrorist attacks, terrorism-related incidents. For instance, on the horizon you see the nearby town of Rotterdam, which was the location of probably one of the first terrorist attacks in the Netherlands on an oil installation, allegedly by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. And if you walk with me to the other side of the building, I can point out a number of embassies, but the nearest one is the French embassy, or what's left of it. They're demolishing it, they're reconstructing it. That was the location of a hostage taking by the Japanese Red Army. And on the horizon you see that part of the city, the coast area, the beach, and in a house in that part of the city, the president of the Federation of German Industries, Hans-Martin Schleyer, was held hostage by the Red Army faction, and he was taken to another location later on and eventually, unfortunately, killed. And then back to the other side, between here and Rotterdam there's another city. Netherlands is very densely populated. You have a city, it's called Delft, and you see some of the parts of The Hague where what used to be the home of a number of youngsters that in recent months went to Syria to fight against the regime of Assad, and they are described as foreign fighters, jihadi foreign fighters, and that phenomenon, which actually in this town quite a number of them, is one of the #1 concerns of security services in the Netherlands and other parts of Europe. Well, the rooftop of this building is a great place to tell you a little bit more about The Hague and all the actors that are active in this town. But I would now like to explain a little bit more about the course, so let's go downstairs, let's go to my office. So now we're in my office inside the building I was standing on, explaining what's going on in The Hague with regard to terrorism and counterterrorism. A better location to tell you a little bit more about the content and structure of this course. Well, I'm sure you have a lot of questions regarding this, and I hope to answer at least some of them. In the trailer I already showed you some of the concepts, some of the theories, the studies that we're gonna look at, and also the assumptions that we're going to explore and discuss. Well, let's give you a little bit more information how we structured this, how we're going to present this in the coming weeks. Well, in week 1 we're going to look into the definition and essence of terrorism. How have academics and governments described, defined the phenomenon of terrorism, and what is it in its essence, in its core? And then we move on to terrorism and counterterrorism studies. What have academics and other experts produced? What do we know? What have they looked into? How have they studied terrorism and counterterrorism in the past decades, and especially the last couple of years? And from this body of literature we derive 5 assumptions on terrorism and 5 on counterterrorism. And in week 3 we're going to look into the assumptions on terrorism, and we're going to compare them with empirical evidence and different opinions by different scholars and other experts. And we'll do the same in week 4 with 5 assumptions on counterterrorism. Then in week 5 we look into the and under-researched topics. What do we know too little of or should be studied? We also look into cooperation between academics and practitioners. Terrorism studies is very policy-oriented. Also, given the nature of the phenomenon, people want answers to questions to try to stop this phenomenon or deal with this phenomenon. And to that end, we believe that there should be cooperation between academics and practitioners. Well, how is this working? Where is progress needed? Where is progress possible? That we will discuss together with something else, the future development in terrorism. If we want to prevent future terrorist attacks, it would be great if we have some idea of where it's moving, how it's developing, what are the main trends. And we will look into that, and we also will ask your opinion about it. We would like to pick your brains and learn from the way you look at terrorism and counterterrorism. And that brings me to week 6, where we look into a a topic, a phenomenon that is very high on the counterterrorism agenda, and that's the phenomenon of foreign fighters, also called jihadi fighters or mujahideen, that fight in other countries in the Middle East, especially in Syria and Iraq, where thousands of young Muslims, or mainly young Muslims, have gone to fight the Assad regime, to fight other groups, something that worries many governments around the globe, many citizens as well, and of course causes a lot of trouble in Syria, Iraq and other places. So that's what we will look at in week number 6. Then, how to get a statement of accomplishment from Coursera. Well, you have to do the following. For the basic track, you have to do the weekly quizzes. So every week there's a number of videos, and at the end of these videos there's the weekly quiz. Well, you have to do these weekly quizzes and the final exam to get a statement of accomplishment for the basic track. For the advanced track, you have to do a little bit more. You have to do 2 additional peer-reviewed assignments. Peer-reviewed assignments. Well, I will not go into details here. For more information, have a look at the course syllabus that you can find on the course dashboard. And finally, I would like to inform you about the signature track, which will give you a verified certificate from Leiden University. Again, more information you find in the course syllabus on the course dashboard. A very important, if not crucial, part of the success of this course is your active participation. We're confronted with so many participants around the globe, with many different ideas about terrorism and counterterrorism. We can learn so much from each other. Among the students are practitioners, people with experience, unfortunately, in parts of the world that are often confronted with terrorism. We have also scholars as part of the participants, and we can learn from each other. And to that end, we added a number of opinion polls and surveys in many of the videos. And we also pay a lot of attention and give the possibility to discuss with each other in the discussion forum. I think the discussion forum, in fact, is a very important part of this course. We have to learn from each other. The discussion forum gives a lot of room for that. Of course, we have to discuss these issues, sensitive issues, political issues, in a respectful way, and to that end we also invest a lot in monitoring what's going on and also in a number of videos. Every week we reflect upon what's going on in the discussion forum, and we also show the results, the outcome of the questionnaires and opinion polls. Well, to make this a very dynamic and interactive course, we also provide the opportunity to discuss with other students and also with me a number of issues related to terrorism and counterterrorism by way of Google Hangouts, live video chats. Well, again, I'm looking forward to explore and discuss terrorism and counterterrorism with you, and I'm also looking forward to hear what you have to say about it. I hope you will enjoy the course. I hope you will learn a lot from the videos, but also from each other. So have fun and see you next week. Every Monday we will upload a video starting next Monday.